my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to come up with this face, create or recreate this face, and I'm going to use all the new drugstore products that I mentioned in my haul video, what's new in the drugstore video. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. I will leave a link to that video in the description box down below, so scroll down and click on that. So I'm really excited to share with you this tutorial slash review slash first impression video. It's going to be a long one, so grab a snack, and I really hope you enjoy it. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to put to test is this NYX HD concealer, and I got mine in the shade Light. Ooh, I don't know, girl. This is kind of like a orange base to it. And what I'm going to use to blend my concealer is this Real Technique sponge. So what I'm going to do is start by applying this Mist and Set Spray by e.l.f. Cosmetics on the sponge, so it is nice and damp. And I did use this sponge to blend my foundation, and oh my god guys, I loved it. Honestly, I was so impressed with it. Just tap, so you don't want to be like dragging too much or being too harsh with it. Just tap tap tap. And so far guys, other than my beauty blender, I have never used a sponge that I loved. Now today is the first time that I use this, but wow, I am so beyond impressed with this. Like, this could possibly become my favorite sponge ever. It has potential. So now what we're gonna do is to use this new Wet n Wild contouring palette, and this one is in Dolce Dulce, I think that's how you say it. And what I'm gonna do is use this light shade over here to set my concealer, so we can see how that works. And this is going to be a first impression of this as well. I've never used this, and again, as I said, this is also a new product to the drugstore. So what I'm going to do is go in with this sponge, and it's not damp or anything, just regular. And basically you want to apply this in all the places that you applied your concealer. So far I like it. It's very smooth. It's actually not chalky. It doesn't feel heavy or anything. It has a really light feeling to it, which I like, but it still gives you a really good coverage. So far I like this as well. So now what I'm going to do is go in with the dark shades, and I'm going to bronze up my skin and just contour a little bit. I'm going to use the F40 Sigma brush. Ooh! So far, I am not impressed with this. Do you guys see all of that fallout? Like, I barely tapped it and it just went all sorts of gray. I'm almost scared to now use it. So what I'm going to do is apply some to my temple. Just like so. And I'm not doing any heavy contouring or anything. It's just bronzing up my skin a little bit. And you definitely want to like tap on the brush so you get rid of the excess. As far as the shade goes, I feel like it's a little too light for me. But if you have lighter skin, this would work better. Okay, so far I like it. A little bit on the sides of my nose. And the bottom. And I always close one eye when the side that the brush is on. For some reason, I always like close that eye. See? It's a habit. Alright, so I'm going to be very brave, and for blush, I'm going to use this crazy bright color. Let me open it up so you guys can see it better. And this is by Makeup Revolution, and this is called New Rules. And I'm going to use this ginormous brush. So I'm going to tap just a woohoo, just a little bit. I'm kind of going to like divided between the two just because I feel like, wow. Definitely very pigmented. That blush, let's see if it's gonna blend nicely though. Okay, so the blush is super pigmented. When you're tapping, you just have to be so soft-handed with it, but I really do like it. Okay, so for highlight, I'm not going to apply the golden light, which is this one, because I already swatched this for you guys in my haul video, and I did also apply it, so I feel like you guys have an idea of how that one looks. So for now, I'm going to apply this one, and again, this one is called a Radiant Light, and let's go ahead and apply, and I'm going to use this Sephora fan brush, so this one over here. And what I'm going to do is on one side I will apply it dry, and on the other side I will wet my brush with a setting spray and see which one works better. Okay, so first impression, the other one, the Golden Light, is definitely more pigmented. I feel like with this one you can't get as much product, especially not with a fan brush. So I'm going to grab another brush. Let's grab this one. It's more intense. This is actually a foundation brush, but you know, there's no rules, guys. Just do what you gotta do. That is a nice glow, but it's not enough glow. So this one now, let's apply it wet. Hopefully that will be better. I will go in with my e.l.f. setting spray. Okay, so can you guys tell the difference? Definitely when it's wet, you get more of the pigmentation and you can see the highlight more intensely. So with this one, I definitely recommend to wet your brush before applying it. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we are done with the face and we are going to move on to the eyes. And for the eyes, I am going to be using this new Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette, and it does also come with this brush. And honestly, for a drugstore, I'm kind of impressed with the brush. It doesn't seem too bad. Like, if you don't have any other brush, then this might work. This side is actually pretty good for blending. I don't think I'm going to use this side, but maybe I'll give this one a try so we can see how that goes. I'm going to go in with this gold shade and apply it all over my lid. So this gold is definitely not that pigmented. I'm tapping in the palette so many times to get something out of it. Okay, so definitely recommend, if you're gonna buy this palette, to use at least the shimmering colors wet. Alright, so now I'm gonna go in with this one, which is that darker gold, and I'm gonna apply it more towards the outer of my eyes. Alright, so now I'm going to use the brush that came with it, and I'm going to take this shade and use it as a transition color. Okay, no, I don't like that brush, but we tried it. Alright, so the color is not pigmented at all. Absolutely horrible. I'm so disappointed. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with this second to the darkest shade on the palette, this dark brown shade. So I'm going to go in with the new Wet n Wild liner, and I'm just going to line my eyes. The actual liner feels really nice. It is super dark. It's very, very black. It's a good liner, but again, because the tip is so thick, you're not going to be able to get like a really, like, you have to be so careful that you don't mess it up. now I'm gonna go in with the black shade from the palette, and I'm just gonna smoke out the edges. I've never had more trouble blending an eyeshadow more than this palette. I mean, it just drove me absolutely crazy. Oh, and one thing that I also did is I went ahead and applied my Makeup Revolution Golden Lights highlighter in my inner corners. So that pop that you see in the inner corner is not the Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette, it's that highlighter. So I just wanted to make it a little bit more presentable. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Precise eyeliner. So that's the tip. It's very precise and tiny. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with this mascara. This is the Lash Sensational, I can't even say the word, Lash Sensational Mascara by Maybelline. And I'm actually excited to try this out. Alright, so this is how the wand looks like. It is slightly curved and the bristles are like very nice and separated. Alright, so this is how it looks with one coat, and now I'm going to go ahead and apply a second coat, and that is the eyes with 2 coats of mascara. So I really like it and definitely prefer 2 coats compared to 1. So I didn't really like the mascara when I first applied it because I applied 1 coat, but now I love it. So this mascara is a yes for me. Alright, so now I'm just going to give you a really quick review of my thoughts and everything and what I think of all the products that I used up on my face. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what I'm wearing on my lips, it's Tolay by ColourPop Cosmetics. They're liquid lipsticks. I love this color. Alright, so when it comes down to Makeup Revolution, I loved the products that I tried from them. The only thing that I was disappointed with was the Radiant Lights highlighter, the peach one that I used. I just felt like it didn't give as much glow as I like, but as you saw with my inner corners, this one, which is the Golden Lights, I love this. This gives such a great color payoff. It is super pigmented, and if you're more into the warm and golden tones, then you would definitely like this. When it comes down to the contour kit from Wet n Wild, I am glad I purchased it. I do like the setting powder, so the lightest shade on the palette. I really did enjoy that as a setting powder for under my eyes. But when it comes down to the bronzer, I still think it's a great purchase just because it's so affordable and it does blend really nicely, but it does have a lot of fallouts. So that's one downside to this, but overall I do think that it was a really, really good purchase and I'm glad I got this, so I do recommend this to you guys as well. Okay, so one thing from Wet n Wild that I did not enjoy, and I just, oh my god, I can't, like, I feel so bad to say bad things about something, but honestly, I just, you know, I would not recommend this to my friends, and I just want to be real with you guys. This palette was such a disappointment. I love Wet n Wild shadows in general, so I am not talking about their products in general or their shadows in general. I am specifically talking about this palette. To me, it was the definition of what I don't want in a palette all in one. It had too much fallouts. It was so messy. It didn't blend easily. The color payoff wasn't good. It's just in general, it was so clumpy. Like, I don't know. I had such high hopes for this palette, and unfortunately, I have to say, I do not recommend this whatsoever. Okay, so when it comes down to the liquid liner, I love this liquid liner. I really like the way that my liner turned out, but if you're new to liquid liners, this is not going to be a great liner to start with because the tip is quite thick, so it's not going to give you a very precise liner, and you really have to be used to using liners in order to be able to get like a sharp line. However, if you're used to liquid liners, you're gonna love this. This was like $3-4 and it is so amazing. It's super black and it just glides on really nicely, and this was a definite yes for me. Alright, so now when it comes down to the concealer, I used the NYX HD concealer, and I want to show you the bottle, but my my desk is so messy, I can't find it. Seriously guys, I can't find it. But I've shown you at the beginning of the video, so you know what I'm talking about. So as far as my first impression goes, I'm glad I purchased it. I do really like it. And again, it does have that like orangey salmon undertone, but I'm into that and I like that. But I did notice that it didn't fully cover my dark circle under my eye, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. Now as far as this Real Technique sponge goes, I'm in love with this. This is, out of everything I just mentioned today, if you're gonna go out and just give one of them a try, then it should definitely be this. This I was so impressed with. I can't even tell you guys. Like, this was just amazing. Okay, so also on my eyes, I did use this Maybelline liner, the new one, and I do like it, but I did notice that it was not as soft as I like my liners to be. I'm very used to my Urban Decay Glide On pencils. Those ones, they literally just glide on your eyes. So I don't know, I'm kind of iffy about it, but it is way cheaper than like the more high-end ones. So I guess for a drugstore, it's okay. And when it comes down to the Maybelline Sensational Mascara, I really enjoyed this mascara. Honestly, after applying the first coat, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, no, this is not doing much for my lashes. And then after applying the second coat, I'm very impressed. I really like the way it turned out. It did add volume and also length. I can definitely tell the difference between first coat and second coat. Also, I don't know how this whole thing is going to photograph. So what I am going to do is take a picture and post it on my Instagram so you can see how it photographs with flash, without flash, and all of that. So definitely check out my Instagram to see how this looks in a picture. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this review slash demo video. I really wanted to, I know I already made the whole video of mentioning all these products, but I didn't want to just leave it at that. I wanted to come back and really share with you my thoughts on them and just kind of go through it together with you and try it out. It's like as if we're sitting together and trying out these makeups. So anyhow, as always, thank you guys so much for watching and staying tuned. And also, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and also hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.